On today's episode of the Cryptoverse. It seems as though Coinbase are refusing to pick a side in the ongoing argument over how the Bitcoin technology should evolve. So let's see what their CEO has to say. TunnelBear is the simple VPN app that makes it easy to browse the web privately and enjoy a more open and secure internet experience. Try TunnelBear for free by checking out the link in the video description below. Hi there guys, and welcome to the latest episode of the Cryptoverse, your regular dose of news and commentary on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and blockchains. I am your host, Chris Coney. Today is the 23rd of March 2017. One announcement today and then we'll get right into it. A quick reminder that Sunday is the next Cryptoverse livestream. That's just 3 days away. This is going to be on Sunday the 26th of March at 2 p.m. GMT, so that's like British Standard Time. Make sure you double check what that time is for you locally, because in England we are going to change our clocks at the weekend, so just make sure that adjustment is factored in. And now we turn to coinmarketcap.com for the market roundup. Now today I would like to invite those who told me to pay attention to PivX last week to now engage in maximum gloating in the comments of today's video. I'll even pin the best I told you so comment to the top. How's that? Now the fact of the matter is, you did tell me so. A few of you were strongly pressing me to look into PivX, and I took it with a grain of salt, as I do most of these tips that I receive, and that's not about to change. I'm saying that because PivX has shot up another 71.1% today, rocketing into 12th place by market cap. A market cap of now $50 million, a coin value of 95 cents as well. So well done to you folks who spotted this gem while it was significantly undervalued. Now I'm going to have to find someone from this project to come on the podcast for an interview, aren't I? Alright then. There. I just paused the recording and sent out a tweet to PivX asking them to come on the show. So if you folks want them on the show, please also tweet them and encourage them to contact me. I am your humble servant. Now moving on, we have MadeSafe, which is today's biggest loser, down 10.3%. They now have a market cap of $72 million and a coin value of 16 cents. And finally, in the market roundup today, I'm going to give Decred the honorable mention today because it's back in the top 20, having gained 18.3%. Normally that would be enough for it to be the biggest winner if PivX hadn't have strapped on a jetpack today. Now, Decred, which to me is most obviously a shorthand for decentralized credit, don't quote me on that, but it has a price of $6.82 a coin today. Lots of strong competition for Bitcoin in the old private currency market, and I'm always eager to see what happens next. Moving swiftly on to bitcoinwisdom.com. Bitstamp are providing us with this price feed of the Bitcoin price against the US dollar, and today the overall result for Bitcoin, actually from yesterday, was 6.9% loss in that 24-hour period, touching a low of $988. Now today I've redrawn a horizontal line at the $1,000 mark, just so I can see the interaction at that level a bit more clearly. Now I would have thought that 1,000 would be a very psychologically significant level, and other than a one-day visit below that, everything else for the last couple of weeks has stayed above 1,000. Now if I switch to the crosshair tool here, and then hover over, it's $1,036 I think it is. And notice here how today and the last three candles are interacting with it. The tops and the bodies of the candles are either on or above it. It might seem like a bit of an odd price, but that's a subjective judgment, which doesn't really figure into technical analysis. When I'm doing technical analysis, everything is interesting to me. But what does it mean, this point of 1036? Where all this interaction is? So I see that, and then I look beyond it, reminding myself that it's real people behind this data. I know I say that all the time, but it's worth repeating that many times. So I see this 1036 point, and I see it as a decision point. It's a short-term event horizon, and people are hovering around it because they have a lack of confidence about which way the price is going to go. That's the funny thing about all trading. People can put trades on with absolute confidence and still lose money. So confidence has nothing to do with anything other than it being the force that causes people to press the buy or the sell button. What I see here, though, is a lack of confidence on which direction we're going to go. And from the broader perspective, and based on the indicators I have here overall, the direction is still upwards. So I personally remain bullish for the time being. Let's take a very quick pit stop over at the CoinDance website, just to let you know that Bitcoin Unlimited is now up to 38.4% support by the Bitcoin miners. That's averaging out to a 1% gain every day. Now these graphs at the top is actually mining pool support, but if we scroll down and look at the raw numbers, it says here estimated hash rate by Bitcoin client. So this is all miners across the board. You see that it's 39.26% mining on Bitcoin Unlimited, 59.73% on Bitcoin Core. Now to me, that's as close as it's ever been between the two sides. And we're actually going to talk about this in the news segment, so let's get into that. So for the news segment today, I've turned to Crypto Coins News. Now you might think I've been talking a lot lately about this argument over, what changes should be made to Bitcoin to reduce congestion. But it's a critically important issue, and there's a lot happening around this, so it's appropriate for me to stay on this topic for the time being, because it is temporary. And once it's resolved, we can get back to other news. And that doesn't mean I'm going to cover this exclusively every day. It just means that for the time being, you might see a large proportion of my coverage on this topic because it is so important. And like I said the other day, my overall assessment is that it is coming to a head. And I say that because of the intensity of the activity that I'm noticing. For a while it was this gentle discussion, but as traffic congestion on the Bitcoin network has increased, as fees have increased, and as average transaction times are now at 2 hours, patience in the community is really starting to wane. And as you can imagine, many of the companies in the Bitcoin industry are concerned about this because their business is potentially on the line, just like we talked about the other day in relation to the Bitcoin miners. Now, Coinbase is often in the news, and I would say rightly so. Love them or hate them, they've been instrumental in helping Bitcoin adoption get to where it is today. Take Coinbase away, and I'd guess that we would be a couple of years behind where we are now in terms of the number of people who are actually using Bitcoin. So let's give credit where credit is due. And it's for that reason, when they make a statement on an important issue like this, it's worth knowing about. So let's hear them out. Let's begin with this section here I've highlighted. It says, the company's CEO, Brian Armstrong, made an official statement to clarify Coinbase team's stance and their viewpoint on the hard fork contingency involving Bitcoin Unlimited. Now, Bitcoin Unlimited, for the new listeners, is an alternative version of the Bitcoin software that basically proposes to change the law in Bitcoin land as to what is allowed and what is not allowed. The argument in the community at the moment is that there are two new constitutions on the table. One of them is proposed by a team called Bitcoin Core, who actually wrote the laws that currently govern the Bitcoin world, and another one proposed by a team called Bitcoin Unlimited, who have written a different set of laws to govern Bitcoin world. The debate has been raging for over a year, and the real question is, which one should we adopt? So let's just take 30 seconds to look at the background of the statement itself. It says, last week, leading Bitcoin exchanges that represent the majority of the global Bitcoin exchange industry market share released a collaborative statement as exchanges in the Bitcoin ecosystem. The statement specifically addressed Bitcoin Unlimited. The exchanges noted that upon the execution of Bitcoin Unlimited, its tokens will be considered an alt asset or an altcoin instead of being accepted as Bitcoin. So this group of companies are saying, if Bitcoin Unlimited, if that law gets voted in, they will consider this to be a new land in its own right with its own jurisdiction. Now, if that happens, then rather than Bitcoin users having to pick where they live, we'll all automatically be issued with dual citizenship, which might be a bit confusing to the average person. I mean, imagine if you open the mail tomorrow and you've been issued with a second passport for the same country, but under a different jurisdiction. That would be weird, right? So anyway, moving on with the article here to the yellow bit. It says, major exchanges which participated in drafting the statement went as far as to say that they will continue to support deposits and withdrawals for the core chain as BTC or Bitcoin. So BTC, we can consider the C to mean core, Bitcoin core. And at the moment, everyone knows BTC as the shorthand symbol for the currency. And what this group of companies is saying is that if the Bitcoin Unlimited law gets the majority support, they're going to list it as a new currency called BTU, U meaning unlimited. And this is despite it being the ruling majority. Now, I personally think that's wrong. The ruling majority should get the official symbol of BTC no matter which team it is. The average user needs a clear way of knowing which version of Bitcoin has the majority. Now, we can debate the process by which new laws in Bitcoin world are voted in, but that's a different discussion entirely. Let's stay on track here. So moving on to the green bit, it says, in short, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong believed the statement attempted to peg the Bitcoin network to Bitcoin Core. Exactly. I mean, talking about putting your finger on the scale. If Bitcoin Core becomes the minority, but it keeps the BTC symbol, that's going to give them a significant practical and psychological advantage, purely on the basis that everyone uses that as the default symbol for the Bitcoin currency. Now, this is a point of principle. It's not me picking one side or another. The principle is that whichever version has the majority should inherit the BTC symbol. That's a very simple and clear way for the average user to understand where the majority is if we end up with two versions of Bitcoin. And that is exactly why these companies are doing what they are doing. They're not willing to accept the majority rule, which is a very sad indictment. And again, there's no point in going ape in the comments saying that the voting mechanism is unfair. That's not the debate we're having here, so stay on track. If you have trouble holding your attention on something, I highly recommend taking up meditation. So now let's jump down to this blue bit here. It says GDAX, Poloniex, and Gemini, who are also Bitcoin exchanges, they didn't sign this statement for a similar reason to Coinbase. Well, good for them. Look, I understand they're afraid of the impact that the change in the law might have on their businesses, but they have not been ordained with this kind of authority by the community. They're taking this on purely because of the role that they play in Bitcoin's infrastructure. They must believe this entitles them somehow to try and manipulate the outcome in this way. To me, it's a bit too authoritarian and not very free market. And finally, let's shift to the bottom here in purple where it says, Coinbase hopes to be a neutral company in this debate and hopes to provide the best possible solution while observing the rapidly changing debate. So I'll end today by highlighting what is most noble about Coinbase in this regard. The CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, has historically been a supporter of Bitcoin Core. And despite this, he hasn't allowed it to displace the most important consideration in all of this, which is to do what is best for the community, serving them to the highest level, whatever they decide for themselves. So thanks for joining me today, guys. If you liked this episode, hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. Please leave me a comment below with some feedback and get subscribed. And please support the Cryptoverse and boost cryptocurrency adoption by going to cryptoversity.com/podcast and becoming a patron. From just a few dollars a month, you can secure Cryptoversity's future, get unlimited access to all Cryptoversity courses, and access a private patrons-only chat group where you get direct access to me. That is all for today, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Cryptoverse. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.